beyond the reach of the law, that he had, 9 legal lives and he only gone through one of them. And I think you're now seeing, at least on a financial basis, he is getting exposed for decades of what he's been doing, which is inflating, lying, exaggerating, however you want to describe it, how much money he has and what he does with his money. And I think that's one of the things that's gnawing at him more than almost anything else in this current round, is that the emperor has no financial clothing. He said in a deposition a year ago that he had $400 million in cash on hand, and he was adding to that amount on a monthly basis in significant ways. He either lied under oath, either perjured himself in that deposition,
or he's a really bad businessman.
Or he blew through that money somehow magically over the last year, or he doesn't want to touch it because he wants to lay these debts off on perhaps people donating to his campaign. For whatever reason, that money, he says, isn't there now.
Right.
And so he's going to have to rely on the good graces of other people, and he doesn't have a lot of options. There's talk that he's going to seek bankruptcy protection. I think we would have already gotten some indications of that. It would have to be a very complex filing. I think Letitia James is waiting to attach his assets on Monday.
Right.
She's been very sharp, I think, about specifically naming some of the properties that she would want to attach.
Like 40 Wall Street, which he said he wouldn't even know what it is.
That's right. The reality is there are certain properties that he deeply prizes. In the early 90s, when he went through those 6 corporate bankruptcies, he came within an inch of personal bankruptcy, but for a piece of his father's estate that his siblings gave him so he could stay solvent. Otherwise, he would have gone under personally, too. And at that time, he basically got on his knees to his bankers and said, take whatever you want, but don't take my condo and don't take Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
And I think that the Attorney General's office is very hip to the idea that there are certain toys that are more valuable to Trump than others. And I think that's got to be gnawing at him as well. But there's going to be a resolution of some sort around this on Monday. Either the appellate court's going to step in and say he gets extra time, or that maybe he gets to play some shenanigans around what he posts, though I would be surprised by that. I don't see a bankruptcy filing coming, but maybe it will. Even if he does a bankruptcy filing, he's going to have very detailed proclamations within the filing about his assets, the debts held against those assets. Again, a kind of public revelation of what he has that he's never wanted to do. Because, of course, what it will show in the end is a guy who said when he launched his campaign in 2015, I'm really rich. I'm worth $10 billion. I'm worth $8 billion. I'm worth $6 billion. These are all the numbers. He's nowhere close to those numbers.
Right.
And he doesn't really want to pop his own balloon in that regard, but he's probably going to be forced to.
Robert Gibbs,